The three main ecological risks of fossil fuels are air pollution, oil spills, and coal mining. Multiple tons of oil are spilled into the ocean every year, harming animals and destroying ecosystems, which then can take decades to be restored. Coal mining is done in two ways: strip mining and underground mining. Strip mining destroys tens of thousands of acres of land a year, which then must be restored, which takes years. Underground mining causes fumes and coal also releases the most CO2 of any fossil fuel.
So the ecological benefits of fossil fuels are that they have caused better agricultural methods and less land usage than older agricultural methods would have caused, and the pollution might be more reversible than some of the other energy sources, and they've also saved a few species such as kerosene, which has saved whales which were hunted almost to extinction, and coal, which has saved Europe's forests. And then with electricity, the indoor air pollution, which is very dangerous, almost disappeared in the developed world. So today, about 30%, or in 1910, more than 30% of the farmland in the United States was used for fodder for horses and mules. Tractors and cars eradicated this huge demand for farmland. And fossil fuels also fossil fuels also have saved birds from being killed from the rotating turbines of wind power, and fossil fuels require a lot less land than wind and solar power. And in some ways they can actually have a lower impact on the environment than some of the renewable fuels.
So some economic risks are that the sea level can rise, and an increase in severity of storms can put key cities such as New York, Miami, and New Orleans at greater risk of costly storm damage. The 2008 Natural Resources Defense Council study estimated that high-intensity hurricanes could cause as much as $422 billion in damages in the Atlantic and Gulf Coast states between 2025 and 21,000. Economic growth is becoming more and more unaffordable. We are dependent on fossil fuels at a time of growing demand and dwindling supply. The costs of continuing our current energy path are really steep. American consumers and businesses already spend roughly $700 billion to $1 trillion each year on coal, oil, and natural gas. Human economies may not be able to adapt to the world that has on average warmed 4 degrees Celsius or more. Also, electricity bills and gasoline prices will raise. America's dependence on imported oil is a key element in driving the U.S. economy. It raises the nation's trade deficit and places the economy at the mercy of foreign suppliers. Any disruption in the supply or spike in the price of oil will have serious consequences for the U.S. consumers and businesses.
Fossil fuels consist of oil, coal, and natural gas. Factories, restaurants, stores, farms, and schools, and so much more all rely on fossil fuels. It is a cheap, reliable source of energy with the highest consumption rate in today's world. Over the last 150 years, fossil fuels have completely transformed the world by growing the population, powering transportation, and improving agricultural growth methods. Due to the amount of extractions of fossil fuels going on in the world right now, fossil fuels are becoming more easily available. Pressure to find more sources of fossil fuels is huge because of the rapidly growing population. They are in such high demand because most machines and vehicles rely on them, and they produce large amounts of energy. Finally, fossil fuels are very stable. They are composed of carbon, hydrogen, which makes them easy to store for a long period of time. This is compared to nuclear energy, which is created by radioactive elements due to their unstableness.